I'm a little over 3 weeks away from my very first natural classic bodybuilding competition. I'm 42 years old, I'm 6'1", and I've just hit an all-time low weight of 197.2 pounds. I started this in January, so it's been about 3.5 months of training and eating now, and I can truly 100% say up until this point, I have worked out as hard as I could with progressive overload and consistency being the goals, and I am very happy with what I've been able to achieve up until this point, but it is not over yet because I am going to be competing, and a lot of these people I am finding out take this extremely seriously, so I have to as well. It will total just about 15 weeks of preparation by the time I step on that stage, and I think realistically I needed every single week of that. It is crazy how much work and time that you need to put into this thing, focusing on all the details like trying to lose body fat but also trying to retain as much muscle mass as possible. So it's been an extremely slow process for me. In fact, I've been tracking my weight week over week, and I've been losing about 1/4 pound a week, which I feel is great because I feel I haven't been at too much of a risk for losing body fat, which again was the worst case scenario. That is definitely what I didn't want to do. In regards to the workout routine itself, I am using our classic Physique plan. I've been going through it over the period of the last 12 weeks. And even though it started with moderate intensity and volume, now I am on to the final stage where there is supersets, there is massive volume. I am pushing my body harder than I ever have before, and I'm eating less calories as well. So exhaustion is really something that I'm kind of teetering on. Some days I feel okay, but really by the end of the week, it's a 6-day split. On the 7th day, I'm doing the high intensity interval training. I'm exhausted by day 7. And what's really helped me is staying laser focused. Sleep is a big priority. I got a really great question asking how I manage sleep with having younger kids, a wife, a family, and for me, sacrifices had to be made. I have cut out really any type of extracurricular activity other than reading at night. So what I'll do is once I put the kids down, I go through a bit of a ritual. I'll wash my face, I'll brush my teeth, I'll lay in bed, and it's almost like my body sees these steps taking place, so it knows it's time to begin winding down. And I am very consistent about doing that every single night because I need as much rest as I can possibly get. 8 hours is the goal, so I've had to eliminate some of those things like watching TV, getting on my phone in the evening. Those things are just gone, and that is what I'm learning getting ready for a competition. A bodybuilding competition is all about sacrifices. You are going to sacrifice things or it's not gonna work. I thought I was in great shape before this contest started. In fact, I thought, well, I'm in the best shape that I've ever been in, but it turns out you need to be in the best shape you've ever been in and then get in better shape. Is it healthy? I don't think so in the long term, personally. I'm doing this out of curiosity. I love working out. I love kind of the classic era of bodybuilding, so that's what really got me interested in wanting to do this. But I'm getting more and more questions on social media saying, well, how are you feeling? Are you fatigued? Do you think this is healthy? I'm trying to do it as healthy as I can. I'm not taking any extremes. Of course, I'm not on any kind of drugs or anything, which I'm assuming would probably make it even more dangerous. But at the same time, even as a natural, I don't think it's completely healthy. I think there's getting in shape and being healthy, but the way I'm looking at it is almost like your doctor recommends you getting, hey, you should go walking, and then you come back to the doctor and then you say, well, I walked cross country without stopping once, and he goes, whoa, I wasn't saying go that crazy. I was just saying you need to add some physical activity into your sedentary lifestyle. That's kind of the same way I feel about this. There's working out, there's eating right, but then there's getting so extreme that you take yourself to this level and then you got to reel yourself back a little and go, okay, this is a little too crazy. And one thing that I really want to avoid when this competition is done is burnout. I don't want to go, well, screw all this. Now I don't want to work out for a couple weeks and I want to eat whatever I want because I've been abstaining from all that. And then you're just living in those two extreme worlds of you're purging yourself from all those things, and then you're binging on all of them once you're finished. So that's going to be something that I'm going to really try and stay away with once this is wrapped up, because my body is feeling pretty beat up. The other day we were getting in legs. Brennan's been really helpful through this process, training with me, keeping me inspired, and he stopped me and he said, dude, you can reduce the weights, man. I mean, you don't have to do this amount of reps and this amount of intensity this close to the competition, but it's hard because you've got that competitive part of you where you want to push yourself a little farther. You want to see where you can go, and you can get to that extreme, which it's already, teetering on unhealthy, but then it gets even worse. So you really got to kind of manage that a little bit. And that's what I'm trying to do at this very moment. I'm trying to spend now in these final couple weeks about 20 to 30 minutes every single night posing, getting that down, learning how to properly maximize the angles of my body to accentuate all the work I put in, and see if it all pays off in the long run. Who knows? But again, at the end of the day, no matter what happens, I just want to be able to tell myself I was able to accomplish the goal I set out of doing, of building the best version of myself I possibly could, so I could just look back on it from years from now and say, that moment in time, I truly committed myself physically and mentally. For many years, me and Brandon refrained from even calling ourselves bodybuilders because we viewed ourselves more as buff dudes, which to us just encapsulates a love of getting in the gym, listening to the music, feeling the pump, the camaraderie of others, and going through this classic physique plan. I have felt that now more than ever, I would probably say. For all of those of you who are going through the classic physique alongside us, thank you so much for the motivation. Love seeing your posts on our Buff app. And this past 12 weeks doing this plan has truly, as you can see, gotten me into my best shape of all time. As it continued forward, it started with 4 days, eventually went to 5, and then 6. And through the first 8 weeks, I would say I was consistently using progressive overload, which was extremely helpful for me, both physically and mentally, because mentally you feel like you keep getting stronger, and then physically you can see the changes. So that was amazing. The final 4 weeks, the progressive overload stopped, but I am very happy to say that the numbers didn't really go down much either. So they kind of plateaued, but I wasn't feeling necessarily weaker, so that was excellent. Rest times were typically about 90 seconds. Sometimes I was taking up to 120, depending on my fatigue levels. Really, I just listen to my body, and you'll have a lot of debate upon what's the best plan, what's the best reps in reserve, or the rest time. And really, I have a very simple philosophy. It's the best workout is the workout that you are consistently doing and that is working for you. So no matter if it's PPL, upper, lower, high volume, high intensity, if it's working, then that's fantastic, because we're all different and it's all about finding out what uniquely works for you. And this is working for me fantastic. So I am very thankful for the workouts, because they are truly the highlight of this experience, even if they're kicking my ass, but that's to be expected. And it is going to be a big accomplishment, both physically and mentally, once I finish up this classic physique plan. I have finished the classic physique plan. That was 3 rigorous months. I am very happy to be finished, but I am not to the competition yet. So for the final 3 weeks, I'm going to be doing an upper lower body split, throwing in a little additional cardio there on my days off. And I am wrapping this one up with a nice little sauna, a great recovery method that I've been using. Oh man, this is turning out to be so much more difficult than I thought it was. And again, I gotta say huge props to the people that make a lifestyle out of this, especially because for most of us, myself included, this is basically just a hobby, but it's a hobby that I'm finding out is all consuming. It takes over a big portion of your life, definitely all your free time, and you have to make a lot of sacrifices in order to get to where you want to be. So next episode, I'm going to be focusing on the supplements I'm using, and then the episode after that, Man, I'm going to get my testosterone and blood work checked again because I have no idea where I'm at, but I am feeling extremely fatigued. So I'm curious to see what the numbers are going to say. Look for those 2 episodes next. Thank you all for watching this series. Hope it's able to give you a little bit of insight, maybe a little bit of help. Leave some comments, maybe some other things you'd like to see in the build-up. We're almost there, baby, 3 weeks. So I will see you in the next episode, and until then, stay buff.